want me to start now?
Yeah, all yours.
Okay, yeah, all right.
So,
Good morning,
Chiang,
my fellow
wait, Chiang,
Rotarians.
mute everybody, Chiang.
Okay,
No, wait, we need to mute everyone first, Chiang.
okay, yeah, please. Otherwise, it's very noisy.
And the house rules. Okay.
When it's ready, just let me know. Yeah, please. Shall we now?
All muted, yes.
Okay, I start, yeah? Good morning, my fellow Rotarians. Thanks for coming on board. We are bringing to you very shortly a very informative and interesting topic on opportunities in international service and networking. This is a topic we seldom cover in our training, but it is definitely beneficial to you. Group discussion leader is none other than our incoming District International Service Chair, PDG Dr. Rajindar, and PDG Dr. Siva and I are the resource persons, and PDG Limpo Ho is the host for this session. Now, let's have the understanding that we will take questions only after the presentation at the Q&A session. Post your questions to the chat box, and we will be more than happy to pick them up from there. Yeah, all right? Now, just some background information about our GDL. PDG Dr. Rajindar Singh from my hometown, Teluk Intan, is a consultant, obstetrician, and gynecologist. A lot of children, probably including some of the young Rotarians in Teluk Intan, call him Papa because of his passion. I think the same goes to RC Aratamansara. Until now, they still fondly call me Papa. You know, because I was instrumental in chartering the club.
Oh.
Yeah. PDG Dr. Rajindar is a member of the Rotary Club of Teluk Intan since 1989. Another proud Rotarian, just like PDG Leslie. He held numerous positions at both the district and international levels. His CV runs into pages. To cut it short, I just name a few. He was our district governor in Rotary year 2008-2009. In Rotary year 2011-2012. A district Rotary Foundation chair in Rotary year 2013-16 is a 3-year term, yeah? District membership chair in 2017-2020. Now he's going to hold the position as the District International Service Chair in 2021. He was appointed as the Public Image Coordinator for Zone 6B for a 3-year term from 2013 to 2016. Appointed as the Deputy Regional Coordinator for 2016 Seoul Convention. His RI appointments include International Exemplary Training Leader in 2018 and 2019. Now, mind you, rarely you have one not appointed twice, and he's the one. District representative to the Council on Legislation in 2019, and also Council on Resolutions for 2017 to 2020. He was the RI he is the RI President's rep for to a District 3070 conference, India. He's also the RI President's no personal representative to District 3110 conference, Kampu, India. He was the recipient of a RI Service Self Award, TRF for citation for meritorious service, a major donor level 2, and he has promised me to go major level 3 in Rotary year 2020-21. Right? PDG Dr. Rajindar. Now, without further ado, may I now invite PDG Dr. Rajindar to the floor. Over to you, PDG Dr. Rajindar. Thank you.
Thank you for your kind words and your kind introduction. I'd like to welcome everyone to this session. Good morning. Okay, today I'll be talking about District International Service Committee opens opportunities. Well, this small virus has changed this world. It has changed our lives. And it has taught us how to adapt and innovate. I pray we emerge from this storm stronger. The object of Rotary has not changed. And the fourth object remains the advancement of international understanding, goodwill, and peace through a world fellowship of business and professional persons united in the ideal of service. So that is the meaning of service, international service, comprises those activities that members do to advance international understanding, goodwill, and peace. So that remains the same. Now, what has changed? What has changed is the role of the District International Service Committee. This change started somewhere in 2016, but now everything has been put in place. So what is the change? Now the International Service Committee is, our role is to assist clubs to design bigger and better projects. So this is something different. So how we will go about doing it, I will explain to you in the next few slides. Now, what is the goal of project enhancement? It is to increase the quality, impact, and sustainability of global grant projects. Rotary wants clubs to do projects that are high quality. They create a lasting impact in the community. But all those earlier. And how we were going to go about it is by improving Rotarian capacity to design and implement high quality projects. That means our role is to help clubs and Rotarians in designing high quality projects and strengthening Rotarian effectiveness, mobilizing local resources and networks. We are encouraging clubs to work with other organizations and work together, network with them so that we can do bigger and better projects. Increasing the use of Rotarian expertise in global grant planning and design. We have a lot of Rotarians who are experts in their fields. Water, sanitation, maternal child health, disease prevention, education. Now, what we will be doing is we will be making use of all these Rotarians who volunteer their services to assist clubs who are going to do projects. And as I said earlier, creating and strengthening Rotarian-led coalitions. That means we will establish coalitions with other organizations, but they are led by Rotarians. So the role is work with clubs and districts. When I say districts, it means districts in other countries, develop international projects. So we are here to help you develop international projects, design global grants of higher quality and greater scale. And how do we go about it? Take the first step to planning sustainable, successful projects and grants. We will collaborate with district leaders to recruit local mentors with experience to join the district resource network. I'm sure in your clubs you have many Rotarians who are experts in one of the 6 areas of focus. I would like you to send me their contact if they are willing to act as mentors and help clubs develop good projects. We will make sure that we, to the privacy rules, and that will not release any of that private information, but we will use them to help clubs with their projects. So that will be our first thing, and I'll need help from each and every one of you. And the District International Service Committee cannot work alone. We will collaborate with the District Rotary Foundation Committee. We are not taking over their role. We are just working with the District Rotary Foundation Committee in making grants bigger and better. Community Service Committee, the Vocational Service Committee, Rotary Action Groups, the Foundation of Cadre of Technical Advisors, Rotaract representatives, and other experts. So we will get experts from all these areas and try to help clubs to get big projects. And we will maintain a database of all the mentors who can provide guidance and technical expertise. I hope we will be able to have that the database on our district website so that it will remain there and could be used for years to come. And we will help the foundation committee to get resources for projects and global grants. Also promote Rotary publications, online tools, and strategies. All these things we could do online. And this is a part of it. Help clubs find international partners. How it works is the International Service Committee, we have a network of all the chairmen of the District International Service Committee. And we can write to each other and create our own network. And so we can help find international partners for clubs which can't get an international partner. Well, that is the new role of the District International Service Committee. But that's not the end of it. We motivate clubs to get involved in international service. What I mean, Rotary action groups. I'm sure some of you are members of Rotary action groups. Earlier on, they were known as Rotarian action groups, but the new terminology is Rotary action groups. Now, please don't confuse them with our district action groups. Those are district level groups. Now, if you go down to your My Rotary, go under Take Action, and if you go down here, Empower Leaders, you'll find here, join a Rotarian action group. And if you click on that, you will get into their page. Now, these groups are now known as Rotary action groups, not Rotarian action groups, because of Rotarians, family members, program participants, alumni, and non-Rotarians who are experts in a particular field or passionate about topics such as economic development, peace, addiction prevention, the environment, or water. Rotary action groups give participants opportunities to engage in service activities, network with like-minded members around the world. And if you go to the website, you will find that there are many action groups. You just have to go down and find an action group you are interested in. Now, there is an action group known as Health, Education, and Wellness Rotary Action Group, which is very interesting. And there's one on population development, which I have been a member, and I was the country chair for some time. So if you, now that we are, restricted to our homes, we can't fly around, join an action group. It's very easy. Go to the website, click on it, click join, pay the subscription, and you are a member. If you don't want to pay the subscription, just visit the websites and you'll get a lot of information about what is happening around the world or what Rotarians are doing. The next group is Rotary International Fellowships. Now, as the word says, these are fellowships, and on the same page, Take Action, And you can see here, form Rotary Fellowships. You click on it. Rotary Fellowships are international groups that share common passion. Being part of a fellowship is a fun way to make friends around the world, explore a hobby or profession experience. The same thing to join a fellowship. Just go to the website, click on it, and you are in their website, pay the subscription, and you can become a member. Or you can participate without being a member by just being on their website. Everything, beer drinkers, whiskey drinkers, bowling, bird watching, name it, and there are fellowships. We also have an International Fellowship of Rotarian Doctors. I make a mention of it because we now have a district Malaysian chapter, which comprises of District 3300 and 3310. And another fellowship, Rotary Means Business Fellowship, about which Raj will elaborate later on the session. So friends, this is how you can participate in international service. Just join one of those groups, make friends, and there you are. There's also one for photographers. Name it, and you will find it. The other way is sister clubs and twin clubs. Many clubs have sister clubs, and it'll be a good idea if we could find out what are the sister clubs that our clubs have. And maybe we could make a list of that and put it on the website or something so that everyone knows the sister clubs that exist around. So make use of your sister clubs for visits, social meetings, and even for doing projects. You can work with your sister clubs, global grant projects. Inter-country committees and inter-district committees. We have a committee with District 3330 Thailand, which was established somewhere in 2018, and past Assistant Governor Jagjit from Rotary Club of Butterworth was the chairman of it, or representing our district for many years. We were trying to have a function this year. Unfortunately, because of the current situation, we can't do anything, but hopefully we will establish more inter-country committees and or inter-district committees. These are a good way of getting involved internationally. Rotary Friendship Exchanges. Now, please do not confuse them with Youth Exchange. Youth Exchange is something different, and that is handled by the Youth Service Committee, and there are a lot of restrictions on it. You need an insurance, who can go, and a lot of stuff, which probably you all know. Rotary Friendship Exchange is open to family of Rotary, your children, your friends, or anything. You can go and then see the country, enjoy the friendship, and then come back. But do remember, most of the time, it'll be reciprocal. So if you go for a friendship exchange, be ready to host the people who hosted you when they come to the country. And you learn a great deal, my friends. I've done a lot of this. And you see the country from a different angle, not from a tourist angle, but what really there is. And you make friends which are lifelong friends. Another thing is project fairs. We haven't had many projects here, but they're very popular in African continent. In project fairs, clubs which want to do projects, they set up their booths, and people who are interested in doing projects go around, pick up projects, and then big projects are done over the world. I think we tried doing it in one of the institutes, and it was but these ones are big projects. Yes, Rotary International Conventions. Cliff Dr. who was the Rotary International president, when I was the president of Rotary Club, and his theme was Real Happiness is Helping Others. He said, you haven't seen Rotary until you have been to an international convention. He described it, the convention, he says it's like a circus. You know, until you get under that tent, you do not know what Rotary is. I agree with him. Surinder and I have almost attended 13 conventions. They are not cheap, but they are really worth if you can afford it. The next one will be in Taipei, hopefully, and Singapore, Melbourne. Let's see what happens, right? If things are better, these are quite close by, and if you have never attended a convention, I'll urge you to attend one of these conventions. Okay, these are the subcommittees which the committee will have: International Project Subcommittee, Fellowship and Action Group, Inter-Country and Inter-District Subcommittee, Sister Club Relations, Network Resources Subcommittee. So, all of you, and we look forward to your support so that we can take international service to a different level. Okay, let's watch this video.
If you think of what interests people have, there's a fellowship for it.
You share the same interest.
Coffee is a fellowship. Swimming is a fellowship. There's so many fellowships.
In the last year or so, I've gained much more worthy friends through a cycling fellowship, and we're able to raise money for polio just by riding our bikes.
It's the fact of taking your passions, your hobbies, and making that into a service opportunity, a social opportunity. We do learn to surf events for high school kids, beach cleanups, things like that. It's also attracted people into those types of events to seek out what is Rotary about.
Rotary Friendship Exchange is an opportunity for you to visit new places, learn about cultures.
To be received with warmth and friendship, that is the ultimate travel experience in my life.
You get with a family there that will show you around. You explore things you never thought you would explore.
And also sometimes integrating local projects. Friendship exchanges are open to anyone.
It's something you can do with your friends, your family, your kids. Better than a vacation. Hands down, best.
The great thing about a project there is that it brings Rotarians from different parts of the world to one venue.
When they come, they are looking for projects that can help them to meet the club's goals.
The Rotary clubs offer different projects in different areas of focus.
The hosts put together project visits and other kind of tools.
People become friends, and friendship engenders trust.
The personal contact is the main purpose of a project fair.
ICC or inter-country committees are an important part for peace and friendship.
The Inter-Country Committee operates in two countries.
And it's very important for Rotary with this sort of experts to promote activities and relations between the two countries.
Projects are done by the clubs and not by the ICC, but they try to help them to do these projects.
Go beyond your borders and do your part to reach peace through service.
Well, friends, that ends my presentation. We'll now have questions and comments. I'll pass it over to past Assistant Governor, Dr. Siva.
Thank you, Rajindar, for that, I think, very informative and interesting session that you presented. I'm sure all the Rotarians are very grateful for. All right, and I hasten to add that you are one of the Rotarians who truly practices Rotary even in your profession as a gynecologist. Your motto must be cervix above self, right? Now, okay, we have for those of you who didn't get it, I'm really very sorry. Okay, I can't explain it at this time. Now, there is a question from Amritpal, Rajindar.
Yes.
He says that international service projects between countries always tends to fade off after a few years. Okay, he wants to know, how do we make these projects sustainable? The needs of the project are met. What are your comments on that?
Amritpal is Rajindar's son.
Oh, yes. Okay. I think important thing is we must be committed when we start a project. And we must keep contact with your international partners. The problem normally is the presidents keep moving, keep changing every year. And sometimes you just lose contact. But have a permanent contact in that club with which you're working. So it doesn't matter who the president is. And if you keep a contact, the projects can go on for pretty long time, right? The problem always is you lose touch with them for some reason or the other. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Okay, and I would recommend that you talk more to your son, Rajindar, so that he doesn't have to come to forums like this to ask you this kind of question. Okay. Next question from DGND Krishna Kumar. He wants to know, does the Rotary Youth Exchange Committee come under the District Youth Service Committee or the District International Service Committee?
It comes under the District Youth Committee. It's not under the International Service. I clarified that. We deal with friendship exchanges. Youth exchanges have their own set of rules.
Yes, and I think that's why PDG City also has chimed in with a comment very similar to what you said, where she says basically the Rotary Youth Exchange comes under the Rotary International's Youth Service Program, and it's supported by the International Service Committee. Moving on, there is a question here from. She wants to know, she says, our club always has Rotary Friendship Exchange. And so she wants to know, do we have to report this to the district chair?
Well, if you want it to be placed on record, you could let us know so we could have a record of what has been going on at international service. That is good. But it's not a must. And coming back to the earlier question on youth service, youth exchanges are under the youth service, but the International Service Committee will collaborate with you if you're looking for international partners or things like that. That's our role. We collaborate with everyone.
Excellent. Thank you. Okay, Tony Pinto wants to know, he says the role of the District International Service Committee is to help clubs design bigger and better projects. Can we have a sense of what that means in relation to what we do now? Does that mean more than, say, USD 50,000? What does better mean?
When we talk about bigger and better projects, we are referring to projects like global grants, but projects which will run on for a number of years, which really impact the community. For example, you notice a community which has no clean drinking water. What do? You might just say, well, provide them bottles of drinking water. But that's not going to solve their problem. Whereas if you get in touch with experts, they might give you a way from where they can get a water source, how they can filter that water. And once that is done, the community can keep getting clean water for many, many years to come. That's what we are referring to. We use resources. If there are no resources in our district, we look for resources in neighboring districts or in other parts of the world. There will be some water experts. There will be somebody who has done that particular project. So pulling together the knowledge, we try to do projects which really impact the community. Thank you.
Thank you, PDG Rajindar. We have, of course, a very capable resource in this session. He's our incoming district governor. So I'd like to turn to him to ask him some questions that have been posed to us. What is your opinion, IDG, as to the kinds of projects that you think clubs should undertake under international service?
Well, if you ask me, definitely I would suggest you look at the 6 areas of focus, which is actually under the global grant. Yeah, if you are talking about service projects, yeah, of course you have also some other projects like VTT, vocational service projects, and things like that. But under international service projects, of course, in the clubs you can look at some community service projects. Like in fact, the first question asked, that kind of projects which are not global grant or not related. I suggest you do this kind of projects with your sister clubs. If you're doing a project, a community service projects with a non-sister club, then of course your relationship will not be there, will not be that long. But if you're doing it with your sister club, then every year when you visit, you can look at a project, look at the status of it, look at the needs, whether or not the needs still there or not. But if you ask me about international service projects, the district level, global grant projects, the 6 areas of focus. Okay?
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Maybe while you're here, you can also take the question from KK Louis, who basically, his question is, the new scale grants under the Rotary Foundation can allow long-term projects of up to $2 million US. Your thoughts on this?
This one, honestly, is actually is only, you can only apply once. Yeah. If you have a project, probably you may talk about Tanki, for example. It's nationwide, it's long term. Probably we can think about it. Maybe PDG Dr. Rajindar, any comments on this?
Okay, these large-scale projects, we must have done global grant on those projects earlier and succeeded, and which we haven't done. So we have to go step by step. And they're looking at projects which affect the whole country.
Whole country, yes.
Looking at it in our area, countries like India will probably get one of those projects because they are doing big things down there. Sanitation, construction of latrines, and even education now. Shekhar has gone on to have 100% literacy in India, right?
Yes.
We'll have to look at something which we have done as a global grant, which has been effective, has been successful, then we can go for the scale grants. And depends how long they will last. They just started, they might disappear sometime.
Thank you, thank you. DG Andy Krishna Kumar has a question about, he wants to know what is the role of the District International Service Committee in planning the vocational training teams.
Okay, our role is to collaborate with you. You're looking for something, and I have friends or connections, so I will connect you with that particular district. So the role of the International Service Committee is to collaborate with all the other committees, foundation, youth, or whatever. Because we're going to have a platform on which the International Service Committee chairs will be communicating with each other. Then you do, and then we connect the other committee with this particular country.
Thank you. I mean, since DG Andy Krishna is also in the house and he is one of our soon-to-be leaders, may I take some comments on him on this, what he thinks about this? Krishna, are you here?
I'm here. I think it's very good now there's a bigger role for the International Service Committee, because previously some clubs that do not have sister clubs were having difficulty in getting international partners for their projects. So now with this role, I think it makes it very much easier. But having said that, as yesterday in the seminar it was discussed, the session, when you do a global grant, it is better, in my opinion, if you do it with sister club. The simple reason that you can visit the projects easily when you visit your sister clubs, and also you can ensure that the other club reports on the projects. If you do it with an unknown club, they may not do the reporting, and then you have no way of following up except by email. So a sister club, you got a better relationship, you can ensure that they do the project. So I think this is very good where you enhance now.
For the benefit of all our members who are here and those who are less initiated into the work of the International Service Committee, PDG Rajindar, can you share with us VTTs that have gone from our district? Any past teams that we have organized?
Yes, our first VTT was with Rotary Club, with a district in Calcutta, where they sent their group of people down to Malaysia to learn batik printing. And after they learned, they went back and started training women how to do batik printing. And now they are standing on their own feet. And that center, I understand, is still running. And in that particular project, the governor who, or past governor who wanted to do the project, didn't have much, he couldn't get through until he met me at one of the international conventions. And there we sat down and had a long chat. And then the project became a reality. And then there was the other project with the autism project, I think the first one, which started with our past member, Joy Verghese, who was in Australia. Okay, they wanted to do a VTT, but then it didn't work out. But then they supported us, and we supported buying a big bus to do kidney dialysis. So this is how relationships are built. And once you have a relationship, it becomes very simple. So our role is to help clubs, smaller clubs basically, which do not have international partners, but they want to get involved. Then we will help you, give you our connections.
Excellent. Past Governor Siti is also in the house today. So she has expressed the view that we have also done a VTT with Japan. Would you care to elaborate on that, Siti?
Yeah, hi, good morning. Yes, following the VTT program, what we did was we had an offer from Japan, a group of
Siti, we are losing you.
A contagious disease contagious disease.
Oh, contagious disease, okay.
Lost you again.
They came over here to train our professionals, our doctors from Ministry of Health, and we sent our doctors to Japan for a week to have an on-site study. So there was a good exchange, and this was initiated by a Rotarian from Japan who does these programs, used to do this with Singapore. So when he gave us the opportunity, we took the team in MOH right now when COVID started on contagious disease on the ground to support the community. So we work with Ministry of Health with this VTT. The team leader for this was I think from Dr. Rajesh from from Sungai Petani, and we had also the host club with Asri Senawang and Ananda and the whole team from Senawang who supported and organized it. So
I think Dr. Rajesh is now with Alostar, am I right?
Yes.
Yes, he's in Alostar.
So
Thank
our
you.
incoming AG.
Thank you. Thank you, Siti. Okay, Rajindar, another question for you, again from Amrit Pal. He wants to know what type of international projects Malaysia requires partners for, and would it be worth having partnership with districts in neighboring countries, even Australia, sustainable in the long run?
Well, with Amrit being there, and now he's the assistant governor, we'll be happy to do projects in Australia. All I wait for is the clubs to show their interest. And if the TRF committee has some projects in mind, then we can, I can work with him and his incoming district governor, who is a good friend of mine, and we can do projects, international projects, VTTs, whatever it is. This is where the connections count. That's the whole point. Thank you.
Excellent, excellent. And we are very confident, being your son, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Soon he will also be district governor in Australia. We hope and pray for that. Okay. Incoming Governor KS. Okay. Can you, since we have a bit of time here, okay, can you elaborate some basic criteria or some basic tips that you can give the Rotarians on how their club can get involved in starting a global grant?
Okay. Now, first of all, you must have the means. You must have the resources to identify the 6 areas of focus as I just mentioned. In Malaysia, of course, there are still many areas where you can look into, many places where you can do the so-called global grant project. Now, some people say in Malaysia, there's nothing much you can do, but I think we are wrong. Now, talking about hygiene, talking about water, talking about even Orang Asli project, talking about education, yeah, the opportunities are there. It's a question of whether we want to go far, look for it, or we just stop here. If you really want to do it, we can. There are so many projects. So I think, first of all, look around, see what's the needs that you want to do. I'm talking locally, but overseas you can still, you have sister clubs who approach you. Now, this is what you need to do. Even if you talk about disease, prevention and kind of treatment, there are so many things you can do. In fact, right now we are only looking at one or two areas, like autism is only one of them, then a mental is another one. So many other areas where we can look for. And community service, Orang Asli, a big portion of them, underserved community. Education, again, in some of the rural areas, they can only study until standard 6. Anything beyond that, they have no means. We can also look at that and see how we can support them in terms of providing tuition, instead of providing, of course, subsistence and things like that. Definitely, there are a lot of opportunities. The question is whether you want to do it or not.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you, thank you. I was just quickly corrected by PhD Bernard from Sungai Petani. Rajesh is still in Sungai Petani. He is not left yet, okay? And I now turn to PDG Rajindar. Your thoughts on global grants, PDG Rajindar?
Okay, global grants, you must have a need. And you have to go out into the community and see what the community needs. The sad part is a lot of time, Rotarians sitting down in their offices decide what the community needs. Then we do not have a grant which is actually needed by the community. We got to ask the community, see what they need, and whether it falls under the 6 areas of focus, and then we can carry out a project.
Yes.
I think that is very important. You don't decide what you think the community needs. They may not need that. I think that's the biggest mistake that's been made by clubs all the while.
No, but PDG, a lot of clubs, okay, feel that, this global grant is too difficult to apply, too difficult to get. What are your sentiments on that?
No, it's, okay, there's a process. There are rules and regulations which you got to comply with, but it's not very difficult. If you know how to type, if you know a little bit about computer, you can put all this stuff. I've helped a few clubs in Perak. One was Greentown, Kolakangsa, with these projects. They came up with these needs. We sat down, talked to them, and eventually designed the project, got them the international partners, and those have been done. One was setting up a computer library in one of the Tamil schools in Kolakangsa, which is still running, and a lot of students have benefited. The other one is in Greentown. They are having dementia, training dementia using new technology that has come in. Okay, so all you have to do is to sit down and talk about it. I think half the time clubs are just scared about it. And you need one person in that club and who's willing to take on the responsibility of writing the project, doing the project, and then submitting the reports. That's very important. And global grants can go for many years. For example, KLD Raja, the center that they have had for disabled, poor children, started many years ago and is still working on it. So there's no time frame for global grants. I think that's a good thing about global grants. But you have to keep giving a report. That's all.
Progress report.
So
maybe can I just add on to it?
I was just going to ask you, because you are the tyco of global grants, your thoughts on this.
Okay. Now, global grant, of course, I have been involving in global grant, I think about 4 or 5, about 5 global grants locally and internationally. Now, the first thing that you need to do, like just said, you have to identify the needs. Before you even go to the so-called online application system, you log in, you need to come up with the project paper. It's always good to come up with the project paper. You don't just go into the so-called online application system and key in what you think, So you have to do it very systematically, very structuredly. Come up with a project paper, more or less according to the line that are not required, the requirements that the RI asks for. For example, the project description, all the details, the needs assessment, what have you. Then with that, all you need to do, cut and paste and post it. Pass it over to and add on to the application, online application systems. Now, of course, once you log in, the so-called, in fact, this is a PIG, Susan 2 did tell you all, the moment you log in, the so-called project number will be assigned to you. And you don't have to complete it within a day. You can stop there, then go back, stop there and go back, revisit the whole thing, your application, until you are satisfied, you're happy, then you submit. So it's not that difficult in that sense. Yeah. Important thing is you need someone very dedicated to do it more or less full time. To look at it, to answer the questions from RI, to handle all the budgeting, the accounts and things like that. Yeah. That's my take for it.
Okay,
Thank you.
Yes, if I can add, you see now the Rotary International or the Rotary Foundation allows you to get a pre-approval. That means you have a project paper you want to post under the area of focus. You can write to them and say, background noise. We can ask them whether that project qualifies or not. And they will tell you, yes, this project qualifies, or this project does not qualify. That saves you the hassle of having a project written fully and then getting it rejected. And you can contact any of the cadre, they'll be able to help you. Because
I think that's very good advice. Yeah.
Yes.
But I think they're very helpful. To me, they're very helpful. My experience.
I have personal contact with many of them. And they will tell you how to go around it. For example, some projects were rejected, but then you just fine-tune them, put them under the area of focus policy. And find their work. Sometimes you write words which mean something different to the person reading it on the other side. It's all a question of how you word your statements.
So obviously,
even your budget for that matter, some of the items they may no advice. They will say, why don't I suggest you put this one under here, or this one under here? Yes. So they are very helpful.
Yep. So basically, the advice is that club should make a start rather than just take the view that it's too difficult, because there are a lot of people now who can help them get through these applications.
Yes.
DG Andy Krishna Kumar has made a very interesting comment, and he says, we should encourage clubs to do more global grants and less district grants. He feels that DDF would be better utilized for global grants rather than the way in which we are giving out. PDG Rajindar, your thoughts?
Were made with a purpose so that smaller clubs can do smaller projects in a shorter period of time. And that helps them. But global grants are the answer if you're looking to solve some community problems and you want to really bring about a lasting change in the community. So the district grants were kept there so that smaller clubs can get some benefit from the year. Thank you.
Yes, IDTO?
Yeah. Now, I think at the moment, right now, I think we are not in the position to do away with the so-called district grant. Now, the other thing is also, I think clubs, for us to stay on the ground, yeah, whether it's big projects, small projects, we need to do. So that we are relevant, we are with the community. If we are only looking at a global grant project, then of course it's very impactful, sustainable, but we are not connected to the people near you. No, this is my concern. So big or small, I think we need to carry out the projects, and the smaller projects we need the district grants. That's how I look at it, and not until all our clubs are ready, prepared, knowledgeable, conversant with the so-called global grants, I think the district grant is still not needed.
Okay, what would either of you, yes, PDG Rajindar, you're going to say something?
Now, I was going to say that I agree with the incoming district governor, Theo, and I'm really happy that he's not going to do away with district grants.
Yeah, no.
Because I look at it from another angle. When members give to the foundation and you give them a district grant of, let's say, 8,000 ringgit, they are so happy. They have given 5,000 USD, right? If you stop giving the district grant, they'll say, why bother giving the 8,000 USD? You might as well use that for our own club projects. It works. Yes. It works psychologically.
Yeah.
But there are, to both of you, right? And please feel free to chime in. The sentiment, some Rotarians express this sentiment. Okay, clubs that are able to raise funds for Rotary Foundation are normally clubs that have more financial resources, have richer members, and they contribute to the foundation. Now, is it the correct practice that clubs with this kind of resources should be given grants by the district? I mean, by definition, a grant is given to someone who is unable to help. So are we justified in giving these grants back to the very people who have raised this money?
Okay, if I could, I feel maybe district grants should be given to smaller clubs who do not have that much of resources. But what is wrong with a big club doing a global grant?
No, I am talking about district grants.
Oh, you're talking about district grants?
Yes, just district grants, yeah.
I mean, district grants, again, you have contributed so much, giving them a little bit, some more.
IDG, what do you think?
No, I think can we invite PDG Dr. Paul, is the district grant chair, maybe to give his comment? Yes, he's here.
Sure. Paul, would you like to chime in on this?
I would like to say something about this thing which we are talking about, that the district grant is only for small clubs. I don't think that's a very encouraging statement, because every Rotary club can do a global grant if they make an attempt to it. But because now we have got this fear, just years ago when we started the district grant, there was a lot of fear until I came out with this idea and gave everybody a grant and let them do it. So once they've done it, it becomes second nature. So I don't think we should say that district grants are only for small clubs, because small clubs can do fantastic projects using global grant. We must encourage them. The problem is they are afraid. And they are afraid that there will be no support. If we can promise them from the district that we will come alongside them and help them, I cannot see why they cannot do a global grant. So I would rather rephrase our district stand that we want to encourage all the clubs, and not that the small clubs, please stay with the district grants. I don't think that's correct. That's my 2 cents worth different opinion.
But what about the view, Paul, since you're here? Okay, what about the view that since that using the DDF for global grants is a much better way of doing it than giving out a lot of the DDF in district grants? It's better to encourage, because that way you get more bang for your buck.
I think I've said this many times, and some people may not like it what I said. When you give 10,000, don't say 10,000, when you give 1,000 US to the Rotary Foundation, all right? When you do a global grant, you get the money back. But when you do a district grant, you only get 250 US dollars back. As a Chinaman, if I want to give 1,000 to the Rotary International and I only get 250 back, I may as well put it in the bank. I still have got the 1,000 and can use the 1,000 anytime I want. Why should I give it to the Rotary Foundation and come back with 250? But I think because this is an area where we need to encourage the people and we also need to support the Rotary Foundation. Therefore, we are also encouraging Rotarians to give, knowing very well, honestly, to support district grant. I've said this 5-6 years ago. That is wrong. We should support global grant, but it takes time, all right?
Yep.
We have to try and get people to get away from that fear. I am prepared, as I said many times in many areas, I'm prepared to sit down with you if you want to do a global grant, all right? And because I have made the pledge, I went in and did the global grant myself. Because unless you do it, you really don't know, because you think that it's so easy. So there are problems, but they are not difficult problems and not problems that you cannot overcome. But clubs must be encouraged to go in to do global grant. And to say that, oh, we don't have projects, no. Sit down and look at it. You can do global grants in every area. Don't forget, no, the 6 areas of focus covers every damn thing in this world, no?
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
I mean, it's only compartmentalize it, but it doesn't mean that you cannot do anything you talk about is in one area of focus. All right. So I think this is an area I like really to emphasize. We must encourage global grants. District grants is Chinaman's what they call contribution.
Yep, correct. Thank you, Past Governor Paul. Kong Boon Sin has actually weighed in with his following comment. He says clubs to have more dialogues with local residents associations, kampong committee associations, etc., to develop a good relationship and an understanding and an awareness of what their actual needs are, so that we can carry out projects that actually meet the needs of the community. And Amrit Pal also said that what is good is to ask your local states, your local government, before you do any grants, because with the support of local and federal governments, it's much easier, creates better visibility. And that's what they're doing in Australia. Yeah. And I'd now like to turn to Stuart, okay, who says that once you have a grant offered, the responsibility, the stewardship is very important. So on this issue of stewardship, I would like to ask Past Governor Rajindar, right? What are the requirements, and in your opinion, what are the challenges for clubs in terms of stewardship?
If you follow the normal accounting procedures, keep all your receipts, invoices, bank statements, and you have been honest all along, there's nothing to worry. The problem arises when you try to cook up. That's when you get caught. Because the Rotary Foundation is very smart. There were some clubs which invoices from fictitious companies, and they just checked and found that those companies didn't exist. And then they take stern action. I think it's integrity. Be truthful right from the beginning. Keep your records, and nobody can touch you. Yes, the cadre are asked to go around. I mean, I've had times to look at grants, but if everything is in the place, nobody can find any fault with you.
Thank you. Subra has made a comment. He says that he supports the view that DDF, part of the DDF should be used to give district motivation to smaller clubs. But he's also asked the question, and his question relates to whether or not a Rotary action group, a district action group, can apply for a global grant.
The answer is no, right? Because the grants are only given currently Rotary clubs, and maybe Rotary clubs will be included in the near future. Action groups are just there to provide assistance to you, to give you help.
So action groups should not, will not be allowed, or rather are ineligible to apply for global grants and like.
Yes.
They have to go through the Rotary clubs, just like RC Terras, autism. Yeah? Autism, in fact, the global grant is not applied under a few clubs. I think Terras is the primary kind of the contact is exactly RC Terras.
Yeah.
You can apply in that sense.
But you can't apply as a
yes, you can't apply as an action group. Yeah,
only people
it has to be like
either
it has to be a
club or a district.
Right. No, it has to be a project that's basically adopted by the club when they apply. Yeah.
Yep.
Now, Citi has got some interesting comments on the Rotary Youth Exchange. Particularly, she says that when some clubs do it, I invite Citi to perhaps elaborate on her comments.
Yeah, I think at the district level, the Rotary Youth Exchange has been, especially we are right now on hold because of the Ministry of Education. But what we are concerned right now, there are several clubs who are doing their own Rotary Youth Exchange on a short-term basis, which do not require Ministry of Education's approval. And these clubs, when they do this exchange with their sister clubs, because they are hosting students here as well as sending our students overseas, they do not register the students or their program with the district, because they must bear in mind that the district gets its approval from RI to host any Rotary Youth Exchange student, be it club. We will be responsible for anything that happened to the student. So we have been trying to tell clubs to register, but the feedback we get is that, oh, we are doing it with our sister club, so there's nothing we will take care of it, nothing will happen, and it's our responsibility. But bearing in mind it is the district's responsibility, because Rotary Youth Exchange is an RI program. And we are mandated to ensure that the students are well taken care of. If anything were to happen with the students, it's the district that will be held responsible. So really hope that clubs who are hosting Rotary Exchange students do send your programs and host lists and who are these students to our RYE chair. At least we can maintain those data, because we are doing it on a short-term basis. The long-term, we are still trying to resolve it. But please do register the students, because we are responsible at the end of the day if anything were to happen to the students inbound as well as outbound.
Right, thank you, Citi. I also would like to invite Kiranjit, past District Governor Kiranjit, to share her views on this, because she's also added some comments on this. Past Governor Kiranjit, are you?
Thank you. Yeah, I think youth exchange that is a problem that Siti has mentioned. That is something that the district and the youth exchange committee has been for many years. Now, if we actually can encourage clubs to use the resources or that is available to us and maybe indulge in service committee also to encourage the clubs to report whoever who's coming into our district, the young people that coming to our district, activate or reactivate and make the youth exchange program more active. Now, this is a program that's very close to many of us, but we can't seem to. We need to move forward by making it something that's valuable to us, and in doing so, we need to put in this procedures where everybody is collectively responsible for the young people that's coming into our country for short term and also for long term. And we have to act together, all 83 clubs.
Thank you, Kiranjit. I think that's actually quite a valid point that you're making. Past Governor Leslie, can I invite you to share your thoughts on district grants, because you feel very firmly, you feel very strongly that district grants should be maintained. Can you please share your comments with us, please? Past Governor Leslie.
Thanks. Yes, I hear of the comments here of district grants. Having gone through grants for a couple of years, I can see the very interesting and wide range of projects that clubs put forth. So I think it's the moment we cannot do away with district grants, although Paul's idea is that the leverage is not as good as grants. Yeah, granted, it's not as good, because we want the clubs to participate in small, can see the money coming back. I think Rajindar has made a point that when they contribute to TRF, they also want some funds to come back so they can carry out the projects. So I think we need to just carry on district grants, but we want to certainly move forward in getting this culture of global grants. But as I can see at the stewardship and accountability of a small project using district grants, they're still not up to par. So I think we can, our learning process, they are not as strong as some of the other districts, but with this culture of education and encouragement, I think should go on the track of global grants. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you for that sharing, Past Governor Leslie. I'd like to invite DGND Krishna Kumar back into, can you put the spotlight on him? Because he wants to also add some points to the earlier discussion on the International Youth Exchange. DGND Krishna?
Thank you, Siva. I've been actively involved in youth exchange for more than 10 years now. And this is a recurring problem we have faced. And we have even faced the resistance has come from clubs, not only small clubs, but even big clubs, and sometimes even from the PDGs. The club is an important part. And the district IYE chair will have to ensure that the other district is certified to do IYE. If a club does an IYE program, even if it was 7 days with your sister club in a district that is not certified, then if RI comes to know about it, our district could lose its certificate, automatically will lose its certification for IYE, which means that we cannot do any programs at all. So we have been trying to stress this, but the feedback we always get is that we have been years, and the problems are not just the newer Rotarians, but the senior Rotarians in the club who make these kind of comments. So I hope this message can be further understood by everybody.
I think that's a very valid point, because, you know, for 10 years, I mean, people drive cars, you know, for 10 years, 20 years, they never make a mistake. All it takes is one mistake for them to have an accident. So in the same way, I think clubs that have been doing this for a very long time successfully should be cognizant of the concerns that the district has and should take steps to comply and to cooperate with the district. Yeah. Of our session, wind it down. Firstly, by taking comments from our district trainer, Kiranjit, who is here with us, for her closing remarks on this discussion. Kiran?
Thank you, Dr. Siva. I think the session today is very, very good. We have been intending to promote our District National Service Committee more, to make it more visible to all our incoming that we utilize, and the District International Service Committee is supposed to inspire our Rotary members and our clubs to know how we can do that and to use the expertise that is available to the committee. So with this opportunity, I hope that clubs are going to take advantage. District International Service Committee themselves, members of that committee themselves would endear or make themselves available to all 83 clubs and Rotarians in our district. Thank you, Dr. Siva.
And now to our penultimate speaker, incoming District Governor Kwan Sui, for your closing remarks.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Siva. Now, this session definitely is very, very informative, very, very interesting. Now that you know the International Service Committee has a role to play, they are there not to replace TRF committee. They are here to work with you, to support you. Take advantage of this committee. In fact, that's why, my intention to have this topic covered here. Basically, I want you all to know the assistance of the so-called International Service Committee and their so-called expanded role. So thank you so much, PDG Dr. Rajindar, for sharing all this information with all of us. Thank you.
Thank you, incoming Governor Kwan Sui. And now to the man of our GDL, who has been together for his concluding remarks, past District Governor Rajindar Singh.
First and foremost, I'd like to thank my resource, Dr. Pohu, and incoming District Governor, and also Raj, who have been maintaining the system. Without them, we would not been able to conduct this session. It was good to have so many of you here, and please remember that I am here with the committee to help the clubs. That is our role as an International Service Committee. If you have any questions,
can you please hold on, Rajindar? Sharing her screen.
Puspa, can you off your share screen, Puspa?
Can you stop sharing your screen? Right at the top of your screen, if you move your cursor, there is a button that will say stop share. Can you press that button? Okay, back to you, PDG Rajindar.
Thank you. I just want to assure all the clubs that we are here to help you, okay, to develop bigger and better projects. We have the know-how, we have the tools. Just contact us. And I also need your support. Without your support, we will not get the resource group in place. You know in your club who the resourceful people are. Please let me know. I will talk with them. And finally, we'll have a resource group. You want to do a project in medicine, we have a group. Okay, the Fellowship of Rotarian Doctors, we have everybody. Disease prevention, maternal child health. We need experts in water, we need experts in education, experts in economic development and peace. So send me all those details, we'll have that done. And thank you very much. I enjoyed this session and nice having so many of you around. Thank you very much. And thank you once again, Dr. Siva, Pohu, and Raj. And of course, Governor, incoming Governor Kim. Thank you.
Yeah, I think last but not least, a thanks to our host with the most, Lim Pohu. Okay, so now over to you, Pohu. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Siva. Okay, fellowship time, 10 minutes. We can